Hello, this is Acidic Dram. Today is July 21st, I believe, of the year 2022, and this is my turning out to be daily vlog. Today was the end of day number 4 of intermediate fasting. It went pretty well. Had no problems of getting from 9 p.m. last night to 1 p.m. this afternoon. No problems whatsoever. I did add a little bit of. I was doing the keto chow shakes for 1 o'clock and 4:30, but I did add a little bit of actual sustenance other than the shake. I had some chicken crust pizza that left over from Saturday's dinner, and so I had a piece of that. The chicken crust pizza, fantastic. If anyone's interested, just leave me a comment and I can send you the, or go to my Instagram or whatever. I can send you the recipe. It's really good. It's really easy. It's so good. It's really easy to make too. It's just a pound of ground chicken, 2 eggs, about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, some basil, stir-in basil. It's called stir-in basil. I'm not sure who makes it. I think Melissa's maybe, or something like that. I don't know who the company is, but it's in a little squeezy tube. Just a little bit of that, salt, pepper, Italian seasoning. Mix it up. Put that in a half sheet pan. Bake it at 400 degrees for like 20 minutes to get it part cooked. Then you can put any sauce you want on it. I prefer the Shento brand pizza sauce. And then any toppings, mozzarella cheese. I put sausage and mushroom on mine, and pepperoni. That's my favorite toppings, and I don't know the calories or anything with it, but all I know it's keto friendly, and it's amazing. It's very good. It's one of the best recipes that I make. All right, so what else is going on? All right, things that are happening. Well, the money situation is looming over my head again. That's a wonderful thing to happen. We had a little bit of money in savings, and that money is dissipating. So we've been we have to figure out how we're gonna make ends meet coming up after this month. But that's how everyone's going through the same thing right now. So it's gonna be a challenge, but we'll figure it out. But it's a tale of woe in everyone's situation. But I'm not gonna let it distract me from getting the surgery or going through what I'm going through, because I could. It will be a challenge because that is a thing that could derail. My my steam that I have going on right now. I hope it doesn't. I think I have enough support to get me through the from getting discouraged. It's all you need is a wrench thrown in the system to knock you down. But it's life happens. With this last the last couple of years, it's with everything getting more expensive, and I'm not going to make any political comments here, but it's been rough for everybody. Everything's going up in prices, so it's making it rough. But anyway, I'm not going to dwell upon that. And anyway, so that was like a little hand grenade that was thrown at me a little bit ago, and now I'm almost in a panic mode. It's like, what am I going to do? Should I just file bankruptcy? Which actually could happen. It might be a good time to do that now. Beat the crowds, because I'm sure a lot of people will be filing bankruptcy now or soon, just to get that pressure of debt off the shoulders. So that could be a possibility. I'm not going to worry about it, but what else is going on? I'm done with it. I'm not gonna worry about that much. I mean, we can always make adjustments with stuff, and get there when we need. We can make it work out. What else is going on? I don't know. This might be the shortest video I've had. because I really can't really think of what happened. Oh yeah, well there is one thing. My mom just called. Hey mom. Anyway, she was. I was telling a story the other day. Well, I was talking about how when I was a child, I used to be kept in my grandma's bedroom, and if I made any noise, I'd shut up. My mom called me about that today, and she, we talked about it a little bit. And one thing that I'm beginning to learn about myself, and this is an old adage that people say, "Oh, it's in the past. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. It's over with. It's over with." It's true. It's done and over with. But I guess it's the outlook that you have. Your current mental outlook. I mean, is it something that you're going to allow to dominate yourself to keep you where you're at? Or is it something that you can learn to it doesn't go away, but is it something you can learn to accept and learn how to move on, despite that? It's like, yeah, okay, I said, yeah, that happened to me, it sucks. But you know what? I'm not going to stay in that. I'm not going to dwell upon that moment and stay in the moment. And if, Mother Nature happens and Mother Nature throws that into my head at, unceremoniously, it's you could just process it and deal with it and realize that I'm not going to allow myself, I'm not that person anymore, and I'm not going to allow myself to dwell in that spot anymore. Just face it, process it, and get on with it. Allow myself a few minutes to grieve it and get on with it, because to quote Bill Garnier from his from his book with Babe Heffron, there's living to do. And and he said that after he lost one of his legs and during World War II, so and that's one thing is that in that book that he said that there's living to do. So I mean, you can live in the past all you want, and that's pretty much what I do is dwell upon the past, live in the past, and also live in the future. But the future that I'm living at is not coming to fruition because I can't get to the future if I don't process what's in front of me right now, or process what's in front of me, and take care of the things that need to be taken care of. You can live in a little fantasy world of like, in the future I'm going to be able to travel to Europe and or live in a a nicer house, or live in a nicer area, or whatever, drive a new car. I mean, yeah, you could do that now, but you can live in that future dream. But what I'm beginning to learning is, if I want that, I'm going to actually have to put effort into doing it. And that's something I have not done. I have not invested in myself to to develop the skills that I have skills, but everything I have is learned from secondhand from people, and learning, taking their knowledge that they've given me, and distilling what they taught me and adding it to my thought process and building things. I mean, it's gotten me so far where I'm at. I mean, it's gotten me so far, but I want to move up in salary bracket. I want to move up in title. I want to move up in so much more I can provide to the company, but or not to my company, but to any company, to any business that I have the passion for it. It's like I have the passion for it and everything, but I gotta invest in myself and get the credentials, and actually invest in myself and learn the skills to do that. Like what I was gonna say. Man, it's like what I do is if you play video games, if you play Call of Duty, before you play the Call of Duty game, you have to go through a tutorial screen. It teaches you how to, run, dash, shoot, to shoot your weapons and to attack and whatnot, to dive, dodge, and whatever in the game. See, my problem is that I've always I skip those tutorials like everyone does, and I've done that with my my job too. I'm at a level where my position I'm at my level because of where I'm at my education. I'm just a high school graduate, no college, but I'm at where I'm at, and is because I'm a high school graduate, no college or anything. You don't need to have that stuff. I mean, I know people who are directors in our company that I know a director that didn't have a college degree right away, but I don't know if she did or not. I don't want to say that. But I kind of haven't really challenged myself with work. I've only applied for jobs that I knew I could get because I knew what I knew. I worked at the Golden Arches for 6 years or 6 or 7 years or something like that. Then when I got done with that job, quit, got fired. I went to work at Burger King. Same job. And I worked at Burger King for 4 or 5, 4 years or so, 3 or 4 years, 4 years or so. And then I ended up moving to Connecticut. Then I got a job at Stop and Shop for a couple weeks and worked at Burger King for 9 months. Then quit there to work at Sbarro's. I worked at Sbarro's for a couple years. I really loved that job, to be honest with you. That was a great job, and that was a great job. And I got fired / quit from that job, and then I applied for a job at where I'm at now, not knowing it was a copier company. I thought it was a camera company. It was a camera company at the time, but little did I know the division I applied for was for the copiers and printers. And and I actually had to convince my interviewee and the HR rep that my skills translated, because they'd go, well, you don't have any college or anything. We don't think you can do the job. And I said, well, what's the job? He goes, well, you'll be speaking on the phone with technicians and customers and typing and accessing the computer system. And then I did tell them, I said, well, I do kind of do that, have experience with that. I mean, I work drive-through. That's basically talking on a phone, and I typed in a cash register. It's typing in a computer. These cash registers are not, easy things to learn. They are easy to learn after, you drill it, but, cash registers, especially working in, fast food, they get, they have different menus and whatnot. I'm not sure what they are now, but they were pretty tricky, to navigate back in the day. And then when I was a manager, there was always, navigating the screens, and the computers for inventories, putting in, typing in invoice, or when you got deliveries, you'd have to type in your deliveries, and you had to count inventory, and that was a 9-key skill, And I'm just thankful that this guy named Andy out of McDonald's, he had me type in whenever we got a shipment in, he'd have me type in the inventory, and he taught me how to use the 9-key system, just using the numbers on the right side of the keyboard. That was a skill that has served me well. But I did all that stuff with, through all the restaurants I worked at, so good computer skills. And then I told him that, and I explained it to him, and it was kind of funny because Rachel was the hiring manager, and she kind of a little light bulb went off in her head. And she was like, wow, you kind of thought her saying, man, I turned away a lot of people who probably would have been good, employees for our company or for our department if I would have gave people who worked at, fast food and restaurants, if I gave them the consideration, which, I'm glad they did, because that was a job I actually liked working in the customer service department. And it's amazing how much that translated. But and the other reason why they ended up hiring me, because they hired me at a rate of $11 an hour back in 2001. That was a lot of money for me. I think I talked about this before, but I was making like $9.50, like $9.50 an hour at Sbarro's at the time, working 6 days a week, 60 hours a week, getting nothing, no bonuses or anything. I was management. I never got any bonuses or anything, although I was increasing sales and whatnot, meeting the goals and exceeding the goals for labor and food cost, and also sales, but so I never got anything extra for that. So of course, I go to the job, and it's a Monday through Friday gig, 11:30 to 8, 13 paid holidays, 10 sick days, 10 vacation days, 3 floating holidays. After 5 years, you get 3 weeks vacation. After 15, 4. After 20 years, 5. Or actually 25 years, you get 5. But now they changed the holiday schedules around, so I don't even know what the hell we get now. But hell yeah, I signed up for that for $11 an hour. Hell, I would have picked up dog shit with my bare hands for $10 an hour back then. But so I think that was one of the reasons why they hired me at that, because I was training. And what's funny, I was working in that department for a couple months, and I was actually training new hires. And one thing you always don't do is you don't talk about your salary. And I remember there's this one girl, I can't remember her name now, but she got hired, and she told me she was getting paid $14 an hour, and I was getting paid $11. And I was like, holy crap. I said, man, that's not fair. So I kind of like set a little, made me upset. And then I started to, venture out of that department, and eventually got, eventually moved to a department that paid a little bit more. But of course, I got paid the lower end because I got started at a lower end of the salary. Plus, I didn't have the credentials of a college degree. And like I said about work, I said I've worked with a lot of people with college degrees and without college degrees. And guess what? Their job performance, their ability to do the job, their motivation, it doesn't really matter, because I've seen people with some master's degrees, working at that company, and they don't know their head from their elbow, and they are helpless. They're like hopeless little children, wandering around looking for people to do their job for them. And then you have, who's pounded those circles through the circle, or the circles through the square, or the circle pegs through the square holes, if you know what I mean, or the other way around, square pegs into the circle holes. Literally a war of attrition. Beating, fighting those wars every day, every week, every month, every year to actually learn, to learn the job, and apply some knowledge that you have with your own ability to your creative thinking. And I've been able to do that, and I think that's why I've been able to keep my job there for a long time. Because to be honest with you, I would have fired me. I wouldn't fire me now, but I should have been. I would have fired me at least a dozen times through the 20 years I've worked there. But but I always have that tenacity to, always try to improve. And, I was talking to a guy yesterday, and I think I mentioned in my last video, and I was talking to him yesterday, and I was telling him about how sometimes the people I work with are annoyed with me because it doesn't matter how busy I am. I always end up with 3 or 4 hours of free time during the day. So I'm going to wrap this up because I'm at 20 minutes now, and I think that this is going to go into a second video. And forget it. I'm just going to keep talking. I'll figure out a way to edit these into one video. But anyway, so, and it made people annoyed. I mean, I have a, for when I was working for a while, I made this little cartoon. I don't know if you can see the tattoo with the oranges. I made a cartoon strip called An Orange a Day, and I used to do that during the shift, during my work hours. And I was doing it because I, wanted a little bit of creativity, but also I had free time during the day. My job was done, my teammates' jobs were done. What am I going to do? I guess I could have gone home, but the thing that annoys me about that is that when they found out like I had like that extra free time, they would dump more work upon me. So my workload would get more, and then I'd struggle for that for a couple weeks, and then I'd be able to put that into my system the way I work, and I'd end up again with 3 or 4 hours of free time a day. And then again, same cycle. They catch me, slacking off, talking to people, joking around, and then they'd throw more work at me. Then to the point where I'm doing 3 or 4 times the amount of work of some of the employees, and they're actually working overtime, 15 hours a week overtime. And here I am getting the same, getting 2 or 3 times the amount of work done as these people, and I'm getting it done in my 8 hours. And I wish I kind of wish that I still had that, I was still in that position, because it'd be nice to have that extra overtime. But, what are you going to do? So, so that's one thing after the surgery and stuff. I think that's the next thing I'm going to work on myself, is try to get some, some credentials and stuff, because I feel like I'm holding myself back by not investing in myself, regarding, education-wise, and, investing in myself, professional-wise. It's like I could do the job, but, I could do the job, but there's other tertiary things that are, that's not even the proper word. I won't even, tertiary, it means third. That doesn't even mean, there's other atmospheres to a job. One is to, look professional. I've been trying to do that more. I've been getting my hair cut regularly, like once every 2 to 3 weeks. I used to go months, even years without haircuts. I would just cut it myself, and I'd look like an ass. But, I'd go all scraggly and stuff. But I've decided to, if I'm going to do one thing to make myself feel better about myself, is I'm going to get a haircut. And the reason why I wasn't getting a haircut is because I'm so big, and I'd be afraid I couldn't fit in the chair. It's a real fear that people have that are larger people. That's like one of my fears too, is that, like, when we go to a restaurant, is like, we used to go to restaurants and we'd be like, do you have a table instead of a booth? Or if you have a booth, do you have a booth that has a table that can, be pushed? So that, those are the little, plans I had to put in my head. So I said, fuck it, started getting my hair cut on the regular. And one thing I've noticed over the last 2 haircuts is, I'm fitting in the barber chair a lot better. So that's a nice little positive. I'm able to, sit back actually, and, actually relax completely. And the, the barber, so the barber is, the barber shop is actually a nicer environment. And so that's one thing. And the other thing is investing in your, the wardrobe and how you look. Since I'm, fat, since being so large and fat, is that I'd never take the time to be presentable, because it's like, who really gives a fuck? I don't really give a fuck about my appearance, so fuck it. I'm just going to go buy a shirt, that's 1 or 2 sizes larger than I wear, so it's baggy and droops over me. Buy a pair of pants, and, buy a pair of, dark sneakers that can pass for, business shoes, and, go to work dressed like basically like a slob. But, and I think that is, that's part of the mental state of not having a, real self-worth for myself. So those are the things I'm working on. A big step for me has been doing this keto diet and also doing this intermittent fasting, because this is investments in myself, and I'm beginning to learn that these investments, although they may suck on the outset, you're not really as bad as I thought they were going to be, and it's making me better. I had a fleeting thought just right now, and it just flew out of my head. It's something I was going to talk about the other day. If I remember it, I'll write it down and talk about it tomorrow. Damn it! I should have started talking about it as soon as I thought about it. Okay. All right. Well, that's enough for me tonight. And all right, you all take it easy. Started day number 5 of intermediate fasting today. Started right now it's 11:26 p.m. Started about 2.5 hours ago. Actually, I started about 8:45 again. So it's gonna be good. So I'm still doing a 16:8. I think after this week, I might actually try to do an 18:6, 18-hour fast, 6-hour period to eat. I think I could do that. So I'm gonna pencil that out. But this 16:8 so far seems to be working pretty good. So we'll see how this week ends up, and we'll see how next week starts. And also, I'm also going to plan on starting to use this incredible machine behind me. It's where's that? Oh, there it is. It's I don't know if you saw it. And it's the elliptical trainer I bought last year, thinking that it's in my house, I can use it. But I think right now that I've lost enough weight where I can actually get on it and feel motivated to do a few minutes a day. So I think that's what I'm going to start next week, even if it's just a minute at a time. And so I will hold myself accountable. I'm actually saying it right now. Starting on Monday next week, I'm going to start doing a minute in the morning before I go to work and a minute after work. That's in stone right now. And people, you can ask me, but I will. It's in stone right now. I will take pictures of the screen to prove it, timestamp it with myself. I'll post that on my Instagram and Facebook, to hold myself accountable. I think saying it on video makes it realize that I can actually, I can hold myself accountable for it, because I'm saying it to the world. Anyway, I'm done. I will catch you all later, and you have a good night, morning, afternoon, day, whatever. All right, this is citric acid, or actually acidic dram. Out.